the beautiful Kornati National Park in Croatia. On a cloudy weekend in mid-May, just before the busy tourist season begins, as we enjoy a different side of the Kornati Islands. Why, you think it's a bit shit?
Nah. Just a bunch of rocks.
Our journey takes us from the island of Murter out to the Kornati archipelago and finally up to Dugi Otok. We begin our week on Murter in the large and protected Kosirina Bay. We've been anchored here in a little bay called in a little bay called Kosirina. We got in last night on Sunday. It's now Monday about midday. It's a really, really lovely large bay with a sandy bottom and beautiful coloured water. Campsite on shore, a very big campsite for caravans. A nearby canoe, which we walked to yesterday and had a drink. Beautiful sunset. Pretty much perfect place to stop, except for the campsite is a nudist campsite, so everybody's got their junk out. And the other downside of staying here is that there's no reception. So we got up to work this morning and the reception's just not good enough to get anything meaningful done. So we're going to keep heading north along Murter and get a little bit further up the island before the weather turns on Wednesday. So we'll try to stay on anchor again tonight and then tomorrow reassess, see if we can be on anchor Tuesday as well. But by Wednesday, we'll definitely need to be in the marina at the northern end of Murter. Hasn't been a problem so much for us in Croatia finding reception, but just on some of the more isolated peninsulas and islands, sometimes you drop out if you're out of line of sight from a tower. Maybe a 40-minute hour sail. There's a little bit of wind and it should be coming from behind us, so it should blow us gently up to where we need to be. I might fill up the petrol tank now, but we've done from Dubrovnik at the bottom to almost up to Sadar on one tank, so it's been really good that we've been able to sail most of the way up here. It's the time of year when it's quite windy, I suppose, but it's been awesome. Lots of sail time, not a lot of motor time. How are we going down here? Ship shape?
Shippity ship.
Ready to sail?
Ready to sail away from you. Oh, I'm just kidding. I do love you. Living on a boat does not change that. Yeah. I'm gonna get my jacket though. You want your jacket?
Yes, please.
Even though it's nice out, it'll be a little bit windy when the wind hits you from sailing. Now I'm ready.
It's a short sail, and with a gentle breeze over our beam, we make good time. We set our anchor in a sandy patch amongst the seaweed and leave plenty of chain out in preparation for the winds predicted the next day.
Just enjoying a morning hike along the coastline of Murter. There's a great walking trail that hugs the coastline from where we are all the way to the town.
As you can hear, the wind's picked up already this morning. It's blowing about 20 knots.
With plenty more wind predicted for the next couple of days, we head for Marina, Betina, a small village just to the east of the old town of Murter. Safe inside the marina, we wait for the weather to pass, taking the opportunity to explore and enjoy the hospitality of the town. On Friday, we're blessed with perfect weather. and after taking on provisions, we are ready to set sail.
We're leaving the marina in Betina on the island of Murter. We spent a couple of days there avoiding some pretty strong wind that came in, but also taking on water, provisions. Now the weather has cleared. We have an absolutely spectacular day. It's warm, it's sunny, the sky's blue. And we're heading for the Kornati Islands, a pretty special national park off the coast of Croatia, maybe 20 nautical miles off the coast.
2.5 hour sail.
Okay, so 10 nautical miles.
10 nautical miles, that's right, 10 nautical miles. Permit to sail to Kornati. You can buy this online or you can buy it at one of the National Park Visitor Centers. We paid 65 euros to come out to Kornati for 3 days. This price increases depending on the size of your vessel and how many days you plan to be there. So we were able to get a 3-day pass, but you also can buy 1-day or 5-day passes, and it depends on the season. So we're coming in May, which means that we get a steep discount, but if we were to come in June, we'd have to pay 65 euros for 1 night. It's pretty expensive, like everything in Croatia is, but I've heard it's worth it.
We're about halfway through our sail to Kornati. We had really good wind at the start, probably about 15 knots. It's died away a little, but we're not in any kind of rush, so we're just going to take our time. We're about probably an hour and a half away unless the wind picks up. You can see the islands behind me. I'm yet to see any other boats out here with us. I'm sure we'll bump into a few, but it's certainly not going to be a super crowded experience, I think, which is nice. Sun's setting at about 8 p.m. at the moment now, so we'll hopefully be in before 6. But absolutely magic trip out so far.
We almost made it to Kornati National Park sailing, but the wind has finally died, and so we're going to have to put the sails away and motor in the rest of the way.
I wonder what makes it so special.
Why, you think it's a bit shit?
Just a bunch of rocks.
We've just dropped anchor in Kornati National Park, middle of May, and no other boats with us in this anchorage. Saw a couple coming out, leaving the national park, and there's a few motorboats in the small marina behind us. Mostly got it all to ourselves. It's beautiful, it's desolate. Just contemplating whether it's too cold to go for a swim, but...
I just put my foot in. It is still pretty cold.
Jump in.
You jump in. I've already jumped in.
I'll do it. I will do it.
I'll video.
Go. Is it really cold? Is it sort of cold? It's cool, but it's not freezing.
Ah!
You're allowed to fish in Kornati, even though it's a national park. Apparently it's quite good fishing, but from what we can tell so far, there are no fish here.
Might just be you.
To fish, you do need to have a recreational fishing license, which you can purchase online or at any of the national park visitor centres. How many fish do we catch?
Goose eggs. No fish. But maybe tomorrow morning before the sun rises we can catch some.
Oh, you're going to get up before the sun rises?
I thought you would, because you're going to be the one who's going to be catching the fish. Right? You're the fish catcher.
Doesn't seem that way.
You caught one last weekend.
Massive one, wasn't it?
Yeah, so big. Like that.
I don't know if we can wear these fish shirts while we're catching so little fish.
No, not like that. This is the big daddy. And you caught the little daddy. Behind me is supposed to be a buoy field. The Kornati National Park puts out buoys for sailors, but I think it's a bit too early in the season because there's not any buoys available here. I'm not sure when they actually put them out. I guess that's probably why our tickets were a little bit cheaper than you'd find in June, July, and August. Today's our first day exploring Kornati National Park. We're going to head up the western side of Kornat Island and explore some of the smaller islets that make up the national park. And along the way we're going to stop and do some hiking trails, see some ruins, some fishing, maybe a little bit of snorkeling.
Just stopped in a little cove on the island of Piškera as we make our way up the Kornati National Park. Beautiful out here, it's still, we're all alone. So we'll stop here for lunch and then we'll keep moving up. Got a little bit of breeze this morning to make the sail up, which is pleasant, but we're not exactly setting any records for speed, just a slow, gentle sail up the islands. What's for lunch?
Thai peanut salad, cabbage and soba noodles, carrot, red peppers.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's really, really good and super easy to make and healthy. Is it healthy?
Got a lot of peanut butter you put in it.
We just finished lunch and now we're going to set sail to Mana.
definitely haven't been blessed with that beautiful, hot Mediterranean summer weather, but that is higher risk when you're here in shoulder season. The fog has really settled in now, might be here for the rest of the weekend, but the islands of Kornati are still strangely beautiful, sort of like a moonscape, which is maybe a bit enhanced by the current weather. It's been a pretty cool place to explore. Kelly's just gone ashore to have a look at the ruins. When she comes back, we'll keep on motoring toward Levrnaka Anchorage.
The ruins of Mana at first glance look to be an ancient settlement, but were in fact built in the 1950s to resemble a Greek fishing village for the movie As the Sea Rages. Nevertheless, they still look impressive in the mist, and this early in the season, we get them all to ourselves.
Where to next?
We're gonna head back towards Kornati Island and explore some of the bays there before we make our way to Levrnaka for the night. Don't really know what there is to see there, but there's a couple bays that maybe might look pretty.
Isn't there a fort there and a church?
There's a fort and a church there, but we're gonna see that mañana.
Oh really? We would have to double back this here? Or no, it's
No,
above,
it's slightly above where we are. We're gonna stay for the night.
Okay, got it.
Today we're just going for a little joyride, doing a drive-by, but not the shooting kind.
Feeling a little bit more like Scotland than like the Mediterranean. Very cloudy, the fog has well and truly settled in. But it's adding a little bit of mood, a little bit of atmosphere. Doesn't it remind you of Scotland with the castles on the...
Sure. When you said that, I thought that is exactly what it reminds me of.
Maybe not the islands that we were expecting to find, but something cool nonetheless. Just dropped anchor. Very beautiful and protected anchorage. No one to share it with, but there are also no buoys out, same as last night, which is fine. It is a very nice, well protected anchorage, so we don't think we're going to go anywhere. Minimal wind overnight. It is a bit deep, 12.5 metres, and we only have 40 metres of chain, so we'd prefer to have more, but I think that will be okay. It's set well. Not expecting too much wind tonight, so it should be pretty nice here overnight. Still cloudy, but very, very beautiful. Well, that's another night not catching anything in Kornati. We anticipated this as well, so we do have a backup plan, but so far the fishing has been less than stellar. Much nicer day today, sun's back out. Still a little bit of cloud around.
Gun's out too, huh?
A little bit of the cloud has cleared, nice breeze. So looking like a very different place than it was yesterday. And we're going to sail up the rest of the national park today and exit in the north. We anchored here in this little bay called
Levrnaka
overnight, and there are plenty of nice anchorages throughout the whole national park. Lots of
little anchorages as well as like big coves.
Yeah, so many islands mean that there's always somewhere to go for protection. But generally, yeah, there are plenty of anchorages During the high season, there are also buoys put out by the National Park, which are free to use as part of your entrance ticket.
And they're in all of the larger bays, I believe. It seems as though they put buoys out in all of the larger bays. They haven't been out during May, but I believe that they get set up in June, for June, July, and August.
And finally, there are lots of canobas on the various islands. There's lots of small little local taverns that very often offer mooring, either on buoys or even little private docks, which is an opportunity to tie up securely for a night and get off the boat and enjoy a local canoba. I think they're a little bit more expensive out here, but yeah, a good option if you're coming out here for a holiday and want a night off the cooking. As we leave the Kornati Islands behind and round the bottom of Dugi Otok, the skies begin to darken and the winds start to whip up. We decide to head for the sheltered town quay of Sailing.
Marine Port, this is Whisper, over. Sailing Marine Port, this is Whisper, over. Hi.
Well, that's the harbor master, and 17 is not the right number either. But he said that there's space in the marina for us. But that's all I got. He said there is space.